So we saw about what is communication research, what is basics of research. So now we'll come to two main types of research based on our research question. So it's called applied research and basic research. So it's called applied research and basic research. So applied research is you will face a problem. There is a problem and you want to find the solution to that problem. So that is called as applied research. On the other hand, you have basic research. So this is research for the sake of research. So this does not lead to any solution in the near future. It takes some time, but you just want to find out an answer for a particular question. There is no application, practical application for the particular question, right? So that is applied research and basic research. So applied research are solution oriented. Say for example, uh, not many people are voting. So not many people are voting. That is the problem. So you want to find out what are the steps that the government can take to increase the voter turnout. So you are having a problem. You want to find out what are the steps that the government can take to increase the voter turnout. That is a solution oriented research. We call this as applied research. On the other hand, we have basic research where uh, there is no immediate outcome for that research. It will not be used in any field in the near future, but it might contribute down the lane. It might contribute towards major findings. Say, for example, you want to find out a new element. You don't know what the element is going to be. You don't know what the use. If you don't know the element itself, you don't know what is going to be the use of the particular element, but you are just engaged in finding a new element. So you might find the element, later you might find it might be used for laying roads or something like that, but when you are doing the research you have no idea as to how it is going to contribute towards anything. So this is called as basic research or fundamental research. So that's the difference between applied research and basic research. So how do you find out what kind of research ours is? So to do that, we need to know what is our research question. What is the nature of our research question? So what are we trying to do? So if we are trying to solve a problem, ours is going to be a applied research. If we are going to just do research for the sake of research, then it is going to be basic or fundamental research, right? So this depends on our research question. So I'm looking at people, they are not standing in the queue. When they are going to the lift, they are not standing in the queue. So this is a problem. Okay, what can I do? What is the intervention that I can do to solve this situation, resolve this situation? That is applied research. On the other hand, basic research is doing research just for the sake of research without any application in the near future, but down the road long time down the road it might be useful for finding certain solutions. Okay, so that is the basic difference between applied and uh, basic research or fundamental research. So along with this, we will look into the different types of research that you can do when you are starting your communication research, right? So whenever you are starting your communication research methodology, So there are so many research that you can engage in. So we'll see certain examples. Say for example, we are taking a newspaper. So if you want to work in the field of newspaper, so you can see how different newspapers cover the same incident. How different newspapers cover the same incident. You can do a analysis of the different news coverages, right? Say for example, you want to work in movies. You want to work in movies. So then you can find out what is the formula that people use to make a successful film, or what are the common traits that are there in a successful film. So can we identify these traits? So can we make more movies successful, right? So that can be if you are doing with movies. So say for example, you are engaged with social media. So you can work on things like social media addiction, or how they are consuming, their consumption pattern of social media. So you can work on areas like these. Say for example, you are working in area like photography. So then you can do a research on uh, what photos do people carry in their wallet, what does it mean to them. So you can engage in research like that. If you are interested in politics, if you are interested in politics, then uh, we have already seen the example what we can do. So you can take political speeches of leaders. You can take the political speeches of leaders, and then you can analyze them for truth. So like this, there are so many areas that you can work on. So there's development journalism, uh, political communication. Like this, there is so many areas that you can work on. But whatever your area is, what will help you to do your research is the review of literature. So review of literature is a very uh, important step that you carry out during your research. So if you execute this particular step flawlessly, then your entire research is going to be built on a very strong foundation. Nothing can disturb your research, right? So review of literature is taking a look at all the other existing research, taking a look at all the other existing research in your particular field, and then analyzing them. That is called as review of literature. When you write it, it's a chapter in your research as well, but we'll see about that later. So it's also usually the second chapter in your research, but we'll see about that later. So what we are going to do is we are going to analyze the existing research papers. So you can go to research database, various research databases. So if you are new to research, you can go to Google Scholar or something like that. That's very simple. Or if you are a well-versed researcher, you can go to journal databases and then work from there, whether it's open access or it's like something like Sage or TNF, Taylor and Francis, whatever it is. You can go to these research databases and then start working from there. But whatever you do, you have to identify good quality papers. If you start with a poor quality paper, then your research might also end up in a poor manner. So that's why you always focus on the quality of the journal or the research paper that you are reviewing or analyzing, right? So that is how you start CRM, and these are some CRM research, and these are some areas in which we generally do our research. Of course, there is event management and corporate communication, uh, so many other fields, but these are some of the general fields in which people start their research.